Hey everyone, welcome back to another explainer. We've pretty much all done the time, sitting there, staring blankly at a blackboard, just wondering why the daily educational grind was built this way. Well, today, we are launching an investigation into the surprisingly calculated origins of the modern classroom. We're going to dive into the history, the design, and the ultimate purpose behind the rooms we all grew up sitting in. I mean, think about it. 6 a.m. wake-ups, 7 solid hours confined to a hard desk, 3 grueling hours of homework. And you repeat that for what, 14 years? Yeah, it's the universal student experience. We all know it, we've all lived it, and we have all definitely felt that exhaustion. But why is it actually like this? Who sat down and decided this was the absolute optimum way for human beings to learn?
Section 1. The Ultimate Villain.
So you gotta wonder, who actually invented the modern school system? And maybe more importantly, what were their real intentions? Was this highly rigid setup meant as some grand, noble experiment to unlock human potential? Or was it just a glorified daycare to keep kids out of trouble while the adults went to work? Honestly, to find the answer to that, we have to rewind the clock.
Section 2. School before classrooms.
Because, education itself isn't a new concept. But if you look back thousands of years at ancient civilizations, like Greece or Rome, formal learning, like debating philosophy under a shady olive tree, was strictly reserved for the elite. We're talking the rich, the royals, the future philosophers. But for regular kids, school just meant mastering practical survival skills, like helping your parents farm or apprenticing in a trade. That was it.
And get this. The ancient world had absolutely no high-stakes exams to cram for at midnight. No shrill, heart attack-inducing bells dictating your schedule down to the exact minute, and zero restrictive uniforms. The suffocating constraints of modern classrooms simply did not exist back then. So how in the world did we transition from open-air apprenticeships to sitting completely silent in highly regulated rows of desks?
Section 3. The Prussian Blueprint.
All right, let me introduce you to our prime suspect here, Horace Mann. He was an American politician who, right around the 1830s, took a fateful trip over to Prussia, which is modern-day Germany. And while he was there, he witnessed this highly structured, deeply organized educational model that was just completely worlds apart from the chaotic, informal way kids were learning back home. And honestly, he was absolutely hooked.
Now, keep in mind, this was right at the height of the Industrial Revolution, and factory owners were dealing with a massive hurdle: human nature. Let's face it, humans are naturally chaotic. We're creative, we're unpredictable, we like our independence. But factories desperately needed the exact opposite. They needed disciplined, highly punctual workers who would just follow basic instructions all day long without asking a single question.
So Mann brought back what became known as the Prussian model. And guys, it was essentially a factory assembly line perfectly disguised as a classroom. Just look at the features. Step 1, the bell. It literally trains you to move precisely at a specific sound, exactly like a factory shift change. Step 2, the rows. You are isolated from your peers so you can focus entirely on a single authority figure at the front of the room. And step 3, the grades. They categorize everyone by age and efficiency, pushing you along the track exactly like products on a moving assembly line.
Which brings us to a pretty revealing truth about this whole setup. The main goal wasn't actually to create geniuses. Nope. It was to manufacture obedient citizens and highly efficient factory workers. That was the primary objective. And that compliance-first blueprint was brought back to America, and from there, the idea spread across the globe literally like wildfire.
Section 4. A 150-year time capsule.
Now let's look at how this 19th century invention has held up today. I mean, over the last 100 years or so, human technology has evolved from clunky steam engines to artificial intelligence, sleek smartphones in everyone's pocket, and oh yeah, literal space travel. It is a staggering evolution. Yet, you compare a photograph of a classroom from a century ago to one today, and it is basically frozen in time. You still see the exact same rows, the exact same authority figure at the front, and those exact same bells.
It really leaves us with one totally unavoidable conclusion here. We are currently testing 21st century minds using 19th century methods. It's a massive, glaring disconnect between the rapidly evolving world we actually live in and this incredibly outdated industrial-era blueprint we still force upon students every single day.
Section 5. Time for an upgrade?
But hey, to be totally fair to history here, Horace Mann's system wasn't an entirely villainous plot. We have to look at this objectively. It really did bring a ton of much-needed order and structure to the masses, and it successfully eliminated widespread illiteracy. It essentially democratized learning for everyone, rather than just keeping it locked away for the rich elite. In a lot of ways, it achieved exactly what society asked of it at that specific point in time.
But obviously, our era has completely changed. Which brings us to the ultimate question for you. What do you think is the absolute worst, most broken part of the current school system? Is it the stressful standardized exams, the brutal early mornings, or just the endless hours of homework? What piece of this 150-year-old machine do you think needs a modern upgrade first to actually fit into the 21st century? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you next time.